Yeah, okay, no, we're good. I'm good. I'm collected. Hello, listeners. Welcome.
Pause.
Am I pausing? What's happening? I'm confused.
We need to pause so we can edit the.
Let's try again.
I'm so confused. Can we just forget about that post shit and let's just start and with an intro?
No, it's like it's because so Becca can edit out this whole part where we're just blabbering.
I know.
We need like the space.
But I need a pause there to make sure the cut is clean. Otherwise, it's like me talking over you.
Okay, let's just start.
I'm going to include all this at the end of the episode anyway. So
back.
Liam, come back!
No.
Okay, guys, reel it in. Reel it in.
Okay, I'm composed.
Okay, you got this?
Yes.
Good?
You want me to count?
Okay. No, just be silent. Then I'll be silent for a moment, and then I will go. Okay? Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Four Weebs, that anime podcast. My name is Leah. I'm going to do a terrible job at being your host this week. And, yeah. Everyone else?
My name... Go, Veda. Go! Go!
My name is Veda. That's me. Go, Becca.
My name's Becca, and where did my protagonist status go? Also, we're clearly on the fucking top of our game today.
Oh, goodness.
We're not losing it.
I miss Liam.
Yeah. So, if they haven't noticed already, listeners, Liam is still gone this week. Our harem lord is missing. He left us for his waifu.
Is it pronounced harem or harem? I've heard it pronounced harem sometimes.
I have never heard that in my life.
And every time I've heard it, I'm like,
knows?
that doesn't sound right. But maybe
There are
I'm
many things I'm sure we say wrong in North America.
I'd like to just blame it on my whiteness rather than being in North America.
Let's just do that. We're white.
I'm just gonna go with, I think it's a harem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling it harem
knows?
to sound worldly and exotic.
Okay, fine.
Do it.
Yeah.
Alright. So, since Liam's gone, things were slightly different. We still watched a good anime and a bad anime, but the person who drew the red marble, which was Becca, got to watch 2 episodes of both the good and the bad. So, what would you
Again, fucking listeners, if you're back a second time, this is the second time I've had to watch both.
Wah,
Which one?
I watched a good one.
Yeah, do we want to start with the good one or the bad one?
Okay, you're hosting.
I get to talk the entire episode, so I don't care.
So do I, because
I only get to talk.
Oh, right! You've seen both of them as well now.
Mm-hmm.
Veda's the only one in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, poor Veda.
So Veda, do you want to talk? Do you want to be lonely now or later?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my god! Someone just pick. I'm bad at decisions.
Okay, let's talk about the good one first, so everyone can chat for a while.
Okay.
We can get ourselves all shaken out and into the groove of things. Thanks.
All right. So first off, I'll just say this week there wasn't really a theme. It's called I needed a good anime and a bad anime, and I found them.
Yeah,
I like it.
So, and I had already seen the good anime. So now, because there's all this pressure about having decided I'm going to try and pronounce it in Japanese, we're just going to see
I
how
thought we were
this
going to
is
make
gonna go.
Veda say it in Japanese because she sounded so
I
good.
Can try. Are you trying to say I didn't sound good, Becca?
No, I think you sounded good as well.
Really?
Becca, let Leah do it.
I think you two should do it together at the same time.
Oh, no,
that's gonna sound crazy.
I know, let's do it.
No, Leah,
Hey.
just do it.
So, it is Rei Zero Kara Hajimeru Isekai Seikatsu, which is also known as Rei Zero, or
Re-Zero or RE0 or
RE0, Life in a Different World from Zero, or Starting Life in Another World. There's several iterations of this title. Anyway, it's new to the spring season. I've watched it. This is why I made them watch it.
Have you watched the entire thing?
No.
Did you?
No. Not
I
this
think I
time.
got to like episode 8-ish, because I was waiting for it as it was coming out, and then kind of didn't keep track of when it was coming out, so I have to go back and watch a couple episodes, I think.
I think it's all available now, yeah.
So, synopsis. When Subaru Natsuki leaves the convenience store, the last thing he expects is to be wrenched from his everyday life and dropped into a fantasy world. Things aren't looking good for the bewildered teenager, however. Not long after his arrival, he is attacked by some thugs, armed with only a bag of groceries and now a useless cell phone. He's quickly beaten to a pulp. Fortunately, a mysterious beauty named Satella, in hot pursuit after the one who stole her insignia, happens upon Subaru and saves him. In order to thank the honest and kind-hearted girl, Subaru offers to help in her search, and later that night finds the whereabouts of what she seeks. But unbeknownst to them, a much darker force stalks the pair from the shadows, and just minutes after locating the insignia, Subaru and Satella are brutally murdered. Mm-hmm. However, Subaru immediately reawakens to a familiar scene, confronted by the same group of thugs, meeting Satella all over again. The enigma deepens as history inexplicably repeats itself.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Accurate description.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And well read, too, might I point out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Bravo.
nice.
10 points.
Thank you.
Cyber high fives. Woo! So,
all right.
I just forgot what we just discussed, because I have the mind like a goldfish. We've all watched at least the first 2 episodes of this.
I will let you and Veda lead the discussion, because technically you're the ones who were tasked to watch it this week.
Veda, do you want to start with your initial thoughts first?
Sure.
Do it.
Okay, so going into this anime, I must have blocked out the synopsis because I was not prepared for the murder that happened in the first episode. I knew nothing about it other than that it looked pretty and it was based off a light novel.
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting almost like, because, I don't know, for some reason, like, the alternate reality fantasy dimension thing, I kind of got, like, a Sword Art Online feel to it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of expected it to be, like, all light and happy and peppy and, like, oh, look at these cute neon-colored ladies. I don't know. And the first thing I really did notice was that I actually really like the animation style. Mm-hmm. It looks very pretty. It's very appealing. But yeah, it did not go in the direction I expected it to go, and I was happily surprised by that.
How were you expecting it to go? Well, I guess you can answer that after, but... Yeah,
that was my first impression.
Fair enough. My first impression was I was so frantic from, like, the other mix-up that I'll talk about later, that, like, the first episode, I kind of just, like, watched it to cleanse my palate of everything else in my life, and I really enjoyed it. And then I got really confused because somebody on GoGo Anime had, don't forget to watch episode 0! And I was like, fuck, there's an episode 0? And then I got really frantic about watching in the wrong order.
Don't read the comments.
So, I love reading the comments.
For all you know, episode 0 is one of those ones you go back and watch after you've watched the entire series.
Okay, so I went back and watched episode 0.
Oh,
dear.
And then I watched episode 1 and 2, and I really enjoyed it. I'm planning to watch more of this as, like, in the next week. I'll probably just watch it all in the next week.
Spoilers for your opinion.
Well, yeah, like, that's my initial thoughts, is that I'm definitely just going to keep watching it. A lot of similarities, well, a few similarities to, like, Konosuba, but I think I kind of prefer the tone in this one better than Konosuba. Sorry, people that like laughing. I like death and destruction. And
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah. So much more emotion.
Drama.
So I liked it. That's my first impressions, is I really liked it. Yeah.
I knew you guys would.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. That's our initial thoughts.
So, anyway, episode 0, just to explain what that's about really quickly, so we all know what it's about. It's essentially like a prequel to the first episode, where it shows him first appearing in the world and first meeting a couple of the characters and getting, like, figuring the world out a little bit. And that's where my opening quote came from, because, like, one of the things I really liked about Subaru, besides the fact that he's named after a car and I can pronounce his name,
yeah,
is that he's very, like, aware of where he is and has these expectations of how things are going to go, and the minute they don't go the way that he's expecting, he just goes with it and, like, flows with it and readjusts. So anyway, like, the first 10 minutes or so of episode 0 is him just being like, but I've been transported to this world, why don't I have magical powers, or any skills, or, like, a badass sword?
That reminded me of, like, Konosuba too, but it is just, like, it's still just done really well in this anime, and it's great.
Yeah, so that's the, and then episode 0 ends at the point where episode 1 begins.
Okay.
So it flows together all
So
nice
is episode 0 like a full 25-minute thing? Okay,
yes,
cool.
It is, yeah.
I shall have to go and watch it.
And
Yeah.
it's really cute. You get introduced to Puck, who
Oh,
I thought was a girl the entire time until they referred to Puck as a he at one point.
really?
And I was like,
I wasn't even aware of what Puck was.
well, I was like,
I always thought he was a guy. We should maybe explain who
yeah.
that is
Okay.
and,
Somebody else
and
wanna-
get into
Right. Okay, we'll get into the meat.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Leah?
What?
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Alright.
gonna get to this. Okay.
So, episode 1 opens with Subaru going to... Oh god, because I watched everything out of order. It's all going to be wrong now. He goes to the loot house to find a girl named Felt. And he's
That's in the
no, yeah.
first
with...
episode.
somebody else
So-
explain it. I'm so lost.
Okay, so like, are we referring to how he ends up finding out who Puck is?
No, I'm
Let's start from
referring...
the beginning.
to-
The beginning of the anime starts with him in our world, and he
Yes.
just walked out of a convenience store.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's all in
And-
episode 0.
Okay, so episode
it's
0 is episode 1, Becca.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's labeled
Because
as episode
so
0.
just to explain to listeners, I think it's because depending the site you watch it on,
Mhm.
episode 1 is a 50-minute episode, and that is because I think they took what Becca thought was episode 0,
And split it between episode 0 and episode 1.
yeah,
On
and
Google Anime?
put the two
Okay.
together. Yeah,
But
Alright.
it's actually just a 2-part episode.
exactly.
Okay, well, the site I watched it on had it labeled as such that I'm really confused, and I've had a really rough week involving these stupid animes. So
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
it's
gonna
fine. It's
quit.
just-
Okay,
It
quit
makes
trying.
sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, it starts off with him in, like, our world, leaving a convenience store, and at first you're almost kind of like, what's even happening? Because they don't introduce anything. It's literally him just, like, walking out of the convenience store.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of blanking on what happens next, but basically he literally just ends up, like,
He just-
transported.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
that's
just nothing
exactly-
really happens.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
all of a
how it
sudden.
goes.
he's just transported to this world.
It's like a weird...
Sort of, like, question it though. It's just sort of like, alternate reality. Do I have magical powers? And he just starts being like, magic.
It's kind of refreshing, though, because you can just skip all the, like, what's happening
Mhm.
shit and just get into it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Sort of dive in.
This is
Mhm.
what I've been wanting for the last, 2 weeks. It's just an anime that just fucking gets to it. Like, I don't need the setup. Whatever I'm
Yeah.
missing from the beginning, explain to me later. Just do something. And
Mhm.
they did.
Like,
I
we're
really like
already
that.
aware you know the tropes of the genre, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna like into it a bit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really appreciated that and really liked that about this anime. That was a thought that crossed my mind.
Mhm.
So yeah, he ends up in the fantasy world, and he ends up in front of a vegetable vendor's cart and has a chat with him for a while.
I like
And-
that.
Then he runs into... Oh no,
Bunch
he
of
ends up...
thugs.
Yeah, he ends up down that friggin' alleyway that he
Goes
keeps
down an
ending up down.
alleyway, and like these 3 thugs show up, and I'm pretty sure he made like a Three Stooges reference.
He does
in-
make a Three Stooges reference.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
because the whole thing, like, the whole first 2 episodes is basically a loop. So he
Yeah.
talks to the vendor, then he ends up in the alleyway and gets attacked by the thugs, and then this one blonde girl basically runs through the alleyway, like, you can tell she's running away, basically ignores that he's being mugged and keeps going.
Yeah.
And then this pretty, light purple, white-haired girl,
Silver-haired girl, they call
silver
her.
hair girls,
Yeah.
comes into the alleyway, clearly chasing that one girl, but decides to have a good conscience and actually help Subaru as he's being mugged.
Yeah.
So then Subaru feels obligated to help her track down the insignia, which is what the blonde girl was running away with.
Mhm.
And then, I guess just to...
basically where the story kind of starts.
Yeah, and that's where the story starts. And then, basically, just to throw it out, spoiler, the first 3 episodes, whatever, but you kind of need to know it to know the anime, is he ends up in, like, this slum area and, like, tracks down the insignia, and then he and, what's her name, Satella, get
Yeah.
murdered.
Yeah.
By Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah,
With big old
I had
boobies.
the same
I know, yeah.
with the them titties.
With them
And then-
titties that are roped in with, tape or
Hold on.
something.
Yeah, I don't know
Before we get
how.
into that, my synopsis is so close to being done.
Sorry.
So they get
Let off-
murdered, and then he wakes up, basically, and has to repeat the entire thing again, starting at the vendor.
Like
Yeah,
Groundhog Day!
He wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
He wakes up like still in the fantasy world,
Which I think is part of the reason why I'm so confused, because all of the different iterations start to, run together. Because
Mhm.
they're similar enough, but they're still different enough that it's like, fuck, what happened first? I can't remember.
I was like flip-flopping between, I was like, so is this a bunch of alternate time loops, or are these all connected to the same loop, and is he gonna cause like a paradox or something?
You know what I noticed?
I don't know, I understood. It's just that he has to live through the same day again every day, but depending how he changes it, things like the outcome's different.
You know what I noticed is that the title on episode 1 on GoGo Anime that I watched is almost the same as the first of Steins Gate's first episode's title. It's about like back to the beginning and like fuck, I can't.
I had huge Steins Gate vibes watching this.
Well, this is
like
the same
time travel.
They did Steins Gate.
Oh,
yeah, I did read that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that, and I'm slightly less impressed because you did
like you already did this, guys, but I'm sure they'll mix it up somehow. Like it's not going to be the same thing.
No, I would expect not either.
No, and it's already not.
Yeah,
it is some like kind of similar though.
It's similar, but still a bit different enough.
Yeah. Like Steins Gate is the science fiction version of the story, whereas Re:Zero looks like it's going to be the fantasy version of a similar kind of story. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but that's...
Well, and how many episodes have you guys watched?
2.
Technically 2, if you include...
Like the long first episode and then the second episode.
Yeah, and then the second episode after that. Where he finally... He kind of, like, repeats himself again and runs into Felt instead of Satella. And meets up with the really bomb-ass Elsa with the magical dress.
Yeah, I know. Her and them titties that kept changing sizes.
Oh my god! I just like I really liked her character. I'm not trying to be like picky about it, but just like if she were a real person, she would have to be taped into her dress with like duct tape.
Fall over first, though.
Yeah,
like Christ.
Just like she's a badass bitch, but those boobies were not made to be restrained.
Oh boy. That was, yep.
I
know, I've obviously watched way more, so I'm, like, trying to, like, withhold what I know.
Yeah, that could be hard. That was, Kiznaiver was difficult to talk about in that regard. Yeah, so, I really I agree with Veda, I really like the animation style. I'm really happy that it was a good quality render on GoGo Anime, because GoGo Anime can be kind of patchy sometimes about the quality of their videos, and I was really happy it was a good quality video. I really liked the minute he ends up in the parallel universe. I kind of had flashbacks to Boy and the Beast, because everybody's all animal people.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy shit, this is twice in 1 year. I don't know if I can handle this.
It's a common theme for this year.
Apparently, along with time travel, I feel like...
Being spirited away with time travel and animal people.
I feel like we've watched a lot of really good time travel animes in the last little while, though.
They're getting their game.
Some really good what? Sorry?
Some really good time travel animes.
Oh, yeah. They're getting... they're thinking about it now.
Yeah.
They're actually...
Just in
considering things.
Just in general, to go off on a tangent for a moment, I was really thinking about, the style the anime was done back in the early 2000s versus where it is right now in 2016. Yeah. In the early 2000s, it was a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh!, where, the main characters were really wildly outlandish and stylized and really weird, and it feels like, as it's kind of progressed, the good anime anyway, the good stuff that we've seen, it's become more cohesive, visually.
The people blend into the world a bit better?
Yeah, so, the characters still can be a bit outlandish and, have, pink hair and, big curly cues and giant eyes and stuff like that, but they look like they fit better together, and it feels like the art is kind of evolving.
Yeah, I agree.
Really nice
rate.
I'd
say it's gone really far.
Yeah, and I think it has been just, the last 16 years or so, it's gotten really, really good.
Even in the last, 5 years, even. You look at, the difference of some things that have come out, and it's just, crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say there isn't, shitty made animes that look bad that are still coming out, but I look at, the good animes from the early 2000s, and then I look at, the things that are considered good now, and it's just... It's evolved so much, and it's progressed so much, and it's really cool to see. That's my
I'm enjoying it.
Oh.
I just want more boobs.
Want more boobs.
Yeah,
I
less mechs.
was looking at my notes here, and there was a note I made, because I kept, like, I wouldn't write any notes because I was so engrossed in whatever was going on, I would like, forget to write stuff down. Because I was like, what's gonna happen next? I was really interested in the show, anyway.
Yeah, I think there were, like, 7 episodes out when I started watching it.
Yeah.
And because my anime list said there was 24 episodes, I thought it was done. I didn't realize it was new to the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sat there and I just binged like, the 7 of them. I just did it in one sitting. And then I was like, where's the next one? Like, it's not here. Oh my god.
Damn you, my anime list.
Sorry, Veda.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, it's all good. But the one thing, because I was writing down stuff where I was like, oh, this reminds me of Groundhog Day, and this reminds me of Steins Gate. But there was another thing where Subaru's character, like, not like his personality, but the whole ordeal he's going through, almost reminded me of Homura from Madoka Magica.
I can see that.
Way.
I haven't seen Madoka.
You haven't watched Madoka, Leah?
Oh, you should watch Madoka Magica. It's really good.
It's beautiful.
Like, it's, in my mind, it's like the epitome of Magic Girl animes, but better.
Magic Girl anime.
Yes, that's
But
the
better.
thing. It is the magical girl anime for people who don't watch magical girl animes.
Like,
Trust me.
Yeah,
Get past episode 3.
It's completely not like magical girl anime, but it's about magical girls.
Yeah.
So
didn't we do an episode on this?
we did do. Yeah, was it Veda and Leah that watched it?
It was Liam.
Yeah, you and I watched that stupid Vivid Red Operation. I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to watch more of this, and then I never did, because I watched Madoka Magica instead, and I was like, fuck that other show.
See? But
yeah, it's like Captain Earth. I was like, I'm totally going to keep watching this, and then I forgot about it.
Never again.
I remember how I was saying, I'm like, well, it's definitely not very good. It's kind of just what I wanted at the time, and now that it's not what I wanted, I never finished it, because it wasn't very good.
It's like me, Code Geass. I think I've said this 3 times now. I, like, watched a bunch of Code Geass, and then just stopped. I was like, I'm done with this, and I don't care anymore.
Eventually go back to it, man.
Oh, I'll go back eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
anyway, I got, like, strong vibes like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded... That's the quality I compared it to in my head, was the Madoka Magica. I was the same way. I meant to keep notes, and there was a whole bunch of stuff it kind of reminded me as well. Groundhog Day stuck out a lot. I kept thinking of Konosuba because visually they even look kind of similar.
Well, and it's like a fantasy realm too,
and I both acknowledge that they're there and accept it.
I did see like other comments being like, "Oh, this reminds me of a lot like of Konosuba, but like better than."
Yeah,
I liked it way better.
Different kind of sense of humor. This one's a lot more drier, and I like the sense of humor is drier. They're more like quiet quips at one another, which I really enjoyed. I really, really liked the characters and how they interact. And
me too. And I like. None of them are so specifically stereotyped that you feel like you've seen them before. Like you have to an extent, but like even like Subaru, like. He's average, but he's not, like, super average. And he's not, like, a NEET, and he's not incapable. He's not, like, one of those badass anime characters, but he's, you know, has some skill.
I think that's the part I liked about him, is that even though he's not anything special, he seems like he's capable to get through whatever's coming at him. And he seems smart enough to understand what's happening to him. Like, he figures out that he keeps repeating things.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not the, like, usual, like, completely airheaded protagonist. It's just like, oh,
or the ones who would have been, like freaking out for an entire episode and, like, crying. He's actually, like, okay, I'm gonna be intelligent about this and think about it a little bit.
Something
he's good at, like, improving in front of, like, other people in the town, because they'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. Yes, this is a Mitia or whatever the phone was, you know?
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Yeah, I found, I was gonna say, I didn't really think about it when I was watching the anime, but thinking about it now, he doesn't even talk about the women at all, like, in regards to how they're dressed or anything. And this comes back to Elsa with, like, if you haven't seen the anime, she's wearing a very provocative dress. Like, her dress is cut down to her navel, but it, like, just kind of barely covers her nipples. So, like, a lot of her boob is sticking out into the middle. Never at any point does he stop and gawk at her. At least that I can remember. Which is...
Or even, Satella, like, he obviously ends up, like, having a crush on her, but it's never, like, the fawning over or obsessing.
Yeah.
It's like
he refers to her as, like, a beautiful woman, but he's not
Yeah.
like, she's wearing that short skirt, show her butt off,
It just seems a lot more respectable interactions than, like, him gawking at everything. I mean, I got a kick out of when he first shows up in the world. He's like, "Where's the beautiful girl that summoned me?" And then he gets his butt beat up, and like he forgets that really quickly.
He thinks that Felt, the girl who's running away with the insignia, is gonna be the one, and then she just like passes him by.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh."
No time for him. Yeah, and I think that's the part that I'm like, he really, as a viewer, like, he's us. He's the person being like, okay, so where are the tropes?
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't happen, and he figures it out and he just goes with it. And I really like that.
It's very clever in that
That's a good way of putting it, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I won't obviously say too much, but again, it's why I like him and I like the show too, because again, he does like Satella, but he actually tries to go for her, not like in like stupid tropey ways.
Oh, not like just like stand there beside her and be like, if I nudge her with my shoulders, she'll fall madly in love with me.
No, exactly. He'll be like, let's go to this place, blah blah blah. Like, like it's actually
he puts it in effort.
Not like a little brat about it.
He's not just letting the fates decide his romantic inclinations. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah. I was gonna say, this reminded me a lot of D&D as well. Like, I had a lot of D&D flashbacks.
It's probably like the fantasy world thing, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of that, and even just the way that they treat magic and stuff like that, where, like, he's new to this world, she suddenly does, like, the ice ball thing to deal with people, and he's just like, where the fuck did that come from? And then when he's sitting there, like, I must have a magical property, and he's, like, trying to save the kid in front of the cart, and like, a knight comes by and saves him.
He, like, tries to do some sort of crazy super move, and he's like, oh, I will save you with magic, and then nothing happens.
And I thought those were so funny, where it's like, it's probably exactly what people would do if they got zapped to a new world. They'd be like, am I magic now? Nope.
It's self-aware.
Yeah.
In that way, yeah. It's funny. I like it.
So, because you've watched more episodes, does that, is it Reinhardt?
Oh yeah, Reinhardt or something.
Yeah,
oh.
Does he show up more?
You expect him to.
Yeah, I do.
And no.
Really?
Again, I haven't finished yet, and I obviously suspect he will, especially since this is like a 24-episode anime.
Okay.
At least I believe it. Well, maybe it's 12 and it's getting a second season, or maybe it was 24 and then my anime list changed it because they realized they messed up or something. I don't know.
Well, as we know, my anime list is
not always... it's 25 episodes.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure he will at some point, because it goes into a bit of a different arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
After kind of the first 3 episodes, because after the first 3 episodes, you kind of dealt with him, finally getting out of that time loop he's in, because he saves Satella.
Yeah.
And they both survive. And so it kind of goes into a different loop about what happens when he starts living with her, and then that's kind of where I'm still at. I won't say a whole much more than that, but no, he's not come back yet, and neither has Felt, because he takes Felt away, right? Or something like that? Doesn't that happen?
I don't...
He gets the insignia, and he's like, she's got to come with me, or whatever, right?
No, I don't think that's happened yet.
Not in episode 2.
Well, sorry guys, anyway, keep watching. But anyway.
Spoilers!
Well, no, because you guys told me you watched 3 episodes, so I thought you watched
the supersized one, and then one more.
2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. It's because the site I watched it on, that was 1, 2, and 3. Like, or it would have been 1, 2, and 3 for me.
Yeah.
God damn. The site I watched it on just had episode 1, part 2.
Oh, sorry. Anyway,
we had a pretty rough
whole time for you.
I'm going to speak for everybody and say we had a really rough week around the animes.
We're all confused.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was not smooth sailing as it usually is, which is fine, because it's not always going to be smooth sailing, but god damn, man.
Yeah.
25 episodes, I thought it was only 12.
No, I'm happy. You know how long I'm so sick of 12-episode animes?
See, the ones I've been enjoying are the 12-episode ones right now, but maybe that's just because they have the rest, like, the 25ers haven't felt like they've had as good quality.
Well, that's the thing. They have to be the good ones, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm sick of having the like really amazing short animes that feel like they should be twice as long. Or they will get a second season, but you have to wait like 3 years to get it. Like, yeah.
It's like personal preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and
to me, it just depends how good it is. Like this one, obviously, I'm thrilled that it's going to be 25 episodes.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. Like, I don't want to stereotype longer running animes as bad. It just has felt like the ones I've watched lately have been shorter run animes, and I tend to, in my media consumption in general, I tend to lean towards shows that have shorter runs, but that doesn't mean that longer run shows can't be good, and that I haven't watched some really long running shows. So, for some reason I thought it was 12, though. The part that I always find when there's like, it's a 25 episode season, I'm like, well, what kind of story are they going to tell? It's going to take 25 episodes. That's what I'm curious about. But
sometimes they split it up, though, so this one might only get 12, and then they'll release the other, however many later.
So they usually, like, the 12 is, like, the mid-season finale, right? So they'll have, like, the mid-season, and then they'll release the rest of it later.
Which I would be alright with that.
But, I mean, it was based off a light novel, so I'm sure they have enough content for something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised about that, because we watched a couple other shows that have been based on light novels, and they haven't been great. Referring specifically to Dramatical Murder.
No, Dramatical Murder was
Dramatical Murder, yeah, that was a visual novel, which is different.
I'm just here to ask dumb questions, everyone.
It's okay. Dramatical Murder was different. Sword Art Online, though, was a visual, or not, oh my god, a light novel? Fuck! Yes!
Mm-hmm. We set it together at the exact same time, so cheers to us. More water! But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I wish I had kept more notes. I'm on the same page as Veda, where I was like, I sat down with my little notebook, and then I was like, I'm gonna remember all of this. I'm not gonna write any notes. And now here I am, like 3 hours later, just like, I can't.
I know.
That's how you know it was good, though. Like, you're just so, like, engrossed in it that, like, you're not thinking about, okay, let's remember to talk about this, because you're so, like, invested on what's happening.
Basically,
which means that, you know, it's a good show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that the better the show is, the less I have to write down, because usually I'm writing down, like, snotty quips about how shitty things are.
Yes, same.
Like, I'll remember the things I like, the shitty things less. That was one thing that I found, like, there's definitely some quotable moments, just the way they put things. And, of course, I'm not good at remembering quotes, but there's, like, quotable moments where they're really good lines, and I don't know.
The writing is really, like, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's just done really well. The animation's good. The storyline's good. The characters are good. Like, it's just
the one thing I would say, though, like, this is totally a personal preference, but looking at the characters, they do have, like, a bit of a moe look to them. I don't know if that's just me.
The moe is the ones with the really big eyes that are, like, really gradiated.
They're just kind of, like,
color
doughy.
And stuff, right? Yeah, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that that's what it looks like.
It does a little bit, but I feel like they've gotten
down.
away with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like inspired by, not like full on.
I don't know. I really like it. I like the style. It's just, like I said, similar to Madoka Magica, at least the way the characters are drawn there. It feels very similar visually, and I really like that style. So.
I can't wait for you guys to meet this one character simply for her voice. It is, like, the best voice ever. She's awesome.
You know, that was something I was thinking. I don't usually notice quality in voice acting. This one I had a couple moments where I was like, these voice actors are really good. I really enjoyed them. Yeah.
They are good. No, so when you guys, you'll meet her. Her name's Beatrice, and she's the bomb.
My grandma's name is Beatrice.
So she got big boobies like Elsa?
No, she looks like a little queen. Like, you'll see her.
Oh, I think I know.
She's got the big blonde pigtails. She's...
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
So do we want to do final thoughts?
Yeah,
let's
do it. Start us off, Veda.
Oh, okay.
Got me some knowledge.
I don't have a lot to say other than, like, I really enjoyed this anime. It didn't go where I was expecting, and Because when I looked at it, I was expecting a much happier, like, it's still funny, but it has enough, like, dark, dramatic tones to keep me invested. I love that shit. I love me some death and dying and horrifying imagery, so...
Traumatization.
Basically. So I was like, ooh, a show that is funny and pretty, but it's also dark and...
Gritty?
Gritty, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for time travel shows, so...
Doctor Who!
Doctor Who! I love Back to the Future, as you might know from that previous episode. Steins Gate I also love. I love time travel. Yeah, and I love the animation. The style is, I'm not used to it, I guess, but I like it.
Nice.
Yeah. Everything about it was just well done, I would say. This is a well done...
I feel like we haven't actually, we didn't actually talk about it, but we did at the same time.
I know,
because we kind of just sit here and you're like, it's just good. Just watch it.
What starts off interesting, the writing is really good, the voice acting is good, the animation is, really well done. Everything blends really well together, so you're not just there is CG background characters, you're not like, oh my god, that's a CG background character. They're they blend into the world really nicely. It's just everything's, I like it. I don't know what else to say other than I will probably, keep watching.
And actually keep watching?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, don't worry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much, I have to echo Veda, quality-wise, it just looks really great. I like the animation style, it's my preferred style with, big eyes and pretty colors and fucking rainbows. I'm attracted to all that shit.
Oh God. Same.
The characters are ultimately the thing that stand out the most to me. Really great. Not leaning on tropes, like we said, or stereotypes, or that, oh, that's the main girl, so the main girl's obviously going to be this way. They've mixed things up, they've made it more interesting than that. Like I said, I'll definitely be watching more of this in the future. Probably just, catch up on it this week, because I've finished Super Lovers, and...
Oh, God. Oh, my lord.
Oh, boy.
Good job, Becca. I didn't think you'd make it.
Oh, I hate watched the fuck out of those last couple episodes.
You have to fill us in a couple minutes here.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. It's really good. Like I said, I guess be really careful about wherever you're watching it. You don't fall into that same pit that I did, where I watched half of episode 1, then the beginning of episode 1, and then episode 3.
Just make sure you
just
start
watch
off
it. Yeah,
just at the convenience store, and you should be fine.
If you start the show and he's walking into the building, then he gets brutally murdered. Spoiler alert. You're not watching in the right order. Go back. Part. Yeah, now you got to watch now you got to really watch the first part of episode 1, and you should be ashamed of yourself because you've been warned. Yeah, I would highly recommend this. Like I said, I would put it up there with Madoka Magica, Death Parade, even. Death Parade's kind of my pedestal. Well, it looks really good. I don't know.
I would too, having watched more of it. Don't get me wrong, it's still got a bit to go before Death Parade, but it's still one of the best animes I've watched in a really long time. It's the first one I've wanted to binge since Death Parade, and before that, even before Death Parade, I hadn't really binged anything for a long time anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Death Parade's kind of my pinnacle anime right now, where I'm fuck. If everything could be as good as Death Parade, I would be happier than a pig in shit, because I would just be watching anime all the time.
I know, me too. I wouldn't have a life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not but this one, I have to watch more to see if it keeps being as good, but it feels like it's Death Parade quality right now.
At this point, yeah.
I really like the intros and it doesn't have an outro, I don't think, or at least not on the first episode.
I didn't.
I enjoyed the intro, it's nice and shiny. We, don't always talk about intros and stuff like that. It's really good. Go fucking watch it if you aren't already watching it. I feel like there's a lot of people that already are, that are we fucking told everybody it's great, and now we're just, on the bandwagon now. But, really good. Go watch it. 10 out of 10. It sucks for Liam that he's not here to watch it this week.
I know, but it worked out because this way both of you got to watch it.
Yeah.
But it worked out the best way it could have. And now we can watch it on his own time.
Exactly. That's what he gets for going on vacation.
One thing I would say, though, is I actually, I don't know what it is, but I hadn't actually heard about this anime until you recommended it.
When I started watching it,
Mhm.
I thought it was done. I thought it was old.
Yeah.
Not like old, but I just, I didn't realize it was new to the season.
So
I feel like it doesn't have the same type of exposure as some other like shows this
Yeah.
season do.
So I guess I should take a moment and give a shout out to the R anime over at Reddit. I follow that subreddit and tend to see like their stuff go by, and I've seen ReZero in their titles a number of times. Which is maybe where I'm thinking that I've been seeing a lot of exposure about it. But yeah, it's definitely not outside of Reddit. I haven't heard a lot about it, but it has great reviews on my anime list. Like
8.70.
yeah, like it feels like Death Parade, where a lot of people haven't necessarily heard about it, perhaps, or like more. I don't want to say more casual watchers because I feel like I'm a really casual watcher, but
like maybe people who don't look at all the anime news all the time.
Yeah, they might be missing it, and these are some really good ones that are like recent, really good shows that are really worth checking out. Like, they're interesting stories, they're interesting characters, they're not just the same tropes every time, and like that's the part that like really stands out is
because technically, like on paper, we've seen a lot of these themes before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, but they've just been put together in like a fresh way, so it works.
And that's basically what any story is, though.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Well, and like the comparisons to Steins Gate and stuff like that with the time travel, I don't care if like that kind of thing is an underlying theme throughout the show. So long as they're not repeating Steins Gate with people dressed up differently in a different world, it's going to be an interesting story. Time travel is just a device to make the story happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly, for sure.
So, anyway, I feel like I don't need to rant anymore about how great this is. We've all said it.
You're welcome, guys. I knew you'd like it.
Thanks, Leah.
You're welcome.
I now see that you occasionally pick nice animes as well as really shitty ones.
All right.
Okay, seriously, the shoujo week was because someone needed to do it, okay?
You know what?
In all fairness, I should have made you guys watch, like, Yona of the Dawn, but whatever, that can come later.
You know,
I really like
was
Fiona.
Was shoujo the week that we watched Glasslip
And Say I Love You.
Yeah,
Say
I don't even remember fucking Glasslip. That's how unremarkable it was.
I know.
Like,
It was also the bad one. The
Yeah.
problem is, Becca,
Yes.
is that you always end up being the person who watches my bad anime. You never watch this is your like first time watching my good picks in a
Leah,
while.
I just had a thought.
What?
What if Veda and Liam are conspiring against us?
Right.
What bitches?
It's ridiculous.
Do you have something you want to tell us, Veda?
Yeah, Veda. Spit it out.
I don't have anything I need to tell you.
But we give Liam the silent treatment when he comes back.
I was gonna say, obviously Liam is the kingpin. He's dead to me.
Well, I'll talk to Liam then.
No, don't you talk to him. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'll talk to him.
No.
Hmm?
No.
You can't stop me.
Not if I talk to him
Becca and I
first.
now have our own alliance.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, what?
You guys are
Yeah.
never gonna watch the same thing ever again.
No.
What?
Split up, yep.
I'm telling Liam then.
Not before I tell him first.
Oh, fuck you.
Said bye.
What happens when Liam leaves?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Fuck, I miss Liam.
Stop beating us, damn it.
I've had to watch
Okay.
the good and the bad anime both weeks now.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. I don't
I
wanna...
mean, technically I have in a way, but that's because I already watched
Yeah.
ReZero before.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into your bad anime experience here. So let me explain what we watched. So, again, because Liam's gone, Becca also watched 2 episodes of the bad anime. And I watched 3 episodes of bad anime. So we watched Sacred 7. I know. So, Alma Tendoji lives a lonely life. One day, Ruri Alba, a girl accompanied by her butler and maids, visits him. Knowing that the power of the Sacred 7 is latent within Alma, she asks him to lend her his powers. However, he refuses and drives her away since he injured many with his unusual strength in the past. Meanwhile, a fiendish darkstone creature suddenly appears in the Kanto region. Only Alma's power of the Sacred 7 can fight against it. But Alma just lets his power run amok and things begin to get worse. Ruri raises her gemstone in order to release his true abilities. My soul I give to you. With Ruri's wishes engraved in it, will Alma be able to defeat the Darkstone?
Probably.
Yeah, no wonder. I really wonder.
Just saying, probably.
So, Becca, why don't you start off with what
My
you
story?
watched and shouldn't have watched?
Okay, alright. So,
Okay.
every week, the afternoon of the day that we record, I watch my shows, so they're fresh in my head. Normally we record on Tuesdays, so Tuesday I sat down at 8 o'clock, we were recording at 9:30, and I was like, I have exactly the right amount of time to watch my shows and be ready for the podcast. So I usually watch the bad anime. In this case, I watch the bad anime first because I like to use the good anime to cleanse my palate. And I Google Sacred 7 Go-Go Anime because it's where I watch all my stuff because that's the one that just pops up all the time. And it took me to a page that I thought was Sacred 7. I proceeded to watch the 25-minute long picture special. What's it?
Picture drama.
Yeah, picture drama
Basically.
special. Which, for anybody who hasn't heard of these things like myself, it's just like still images with like talking over top of it. It's kind of like a radio play, but with pictures. And sometimes the pictures
So sorry.
zoom in
I
really
know.
slow, and sometimes they zoom out really
They like
fast.
pan across, like, oh, look at the background scenery,
Really,
right?
yeah, really poor animation. So my
Oh,
exact
it's not animation technically.
Yeah, okay, so I have exactly 4 notes written for this. 5 notes. First note is super low budget! ! First 2 minutes are talking over static images.
I
Next
can't believe you
shot.
thought this was it.
I know. Well,
Range.
we've watched some really shitty stuff. Like, I was still having flashbacks to like 901, whatever the fuck that one's called, and I was like, that one was pretty shitty too. So like, I feel like I'm not completely surprised that something like this is so shitty. And I did message on like our Facebook Messenger, like, am I watching the right thing? But Leah was away, so she couldn't tell me, and I'm too stupid to know any different.
I tried to help.
So my very last note, which I think I wrote about 3 minutes into the show, is fuck this show, I literally can't.
Aww,
And
Becca.
my plan was to not watch any more, having only watched 1 episode of what I thought was the anime, and just be like, no, fuck this show, it's not even worth watching a single episode, like, don't even. So, what I have to say from that experience is whoever's making these picture drama specials, get a different
Stop.
fucking hobby. Like, Jesus Christ, I had to sit through your bullshit. It's not good. It's not artistic. Go make music anime videos or fucking
that's the
learn
thing.
to crochet. If this was produced by a company, they should take whoever
Yeah.
did the go-ahead, take out back and shoot him.
I'm pretty sure that this is like an official thing. Like usually, like Code Geass has some of these.
This was,
I've watched them. They're on the DVDs.
Yeah, this was so bad. This was not good.
Oh, no.
This was I was pulling hair out of my head. I was so angry. I was like, fuck this show, literally out loud, fuck this show. Then I started screaming at the computer, and then I finished the 25 minutes, and then I found out I'd watched the wrong thing. So then I was just really pissed I wasted 25 minutes of my life on something so horrible.
Oh.
So then
That's rough.
I went and watched the actual show today, which is now Wednesday, because we changed our listening day, because I was in, like, 009-1 or 99, whatever the fuck that one's called.
Mm-hmm.
That one made me really pissed off that I was, like, angry at Tokyo Ghoul because of it, which makes no sense. This one made me so angry, I just wanted to throw my computer across the room and never talk to anybody ever again.
Oh.
So I sucked it up. I watched 2 episodes of the actual anime, Sacred 7, which, compared to that piece of shit I wasted 25 minutes of my life on, was
Mediocre.
less disappointing than I expected it to be based on the picture novel. Anyway, like I said, whoever fucking made that piece of crap and then put it on the internet for other people to watch, this is my review to you. 3 thumbs down, do something different with your life. You're ruining everything.
Like I
Ruin
said,
the
it
internet.
was probably the company that made the anime.
Okay, well, like I said, they should take out whoever, like, okayed it and shoot him. Or her.
Okay.
Or them. These are bad ideas, don't do them.
Oh, we know how Becca really feels.
Yeah, that's how I feel about everything. So anyway, my initial thoughts on the actual anime are that it was pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
And I'm really surprised it got whatever that fucking picture special was supposed to be, because it's pretty mediocre.
maybe it's a Sunrise thing, you know? Because Sunrise did Code Geass too, and they have the picture dramas, so maybe that's just like their thing.
They need to stop. They're wasting everyone's time.
Were there any mechs in the show?
In the actual show or the picture show?
Kinda?
Aww.
Humanoid mechs?
Yeah, I like to call it the Rage Unicorn.
What? Right? Oh my
Yes.
god, I know!
So,
Okay, we'll get into it.
Okay.
And I don't even really need any initial thoughts because mine was about the same. Mediocre. I was like, how much more of this do I have to watch? Not hating my life, but like bored.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, so let's get into it.
Alright,
But
so...
the main character is actually a unicorn.
What?
A Rage
I wish
Unicorn.
that would have been way more
Oh god damn! I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, if the main
Kind
character
of.
was a unicorn, that would have made the picture show better.
Yeah, I bet.
Not
No
so
kidding.
much. So yeah, main character Alma,
Yeah.
he's all like emo and sad and grumpy about people because he had a terrible, horrific accident that he caused that we don't learn about until later in the first episode.
So he like what pushes everyone away? 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
it. Yeah, exactly. Like
the accident again.
physically and emotionally.
Exactly.
He's all like mean faced. Everyone makes fun of him because he's such a mean guy. Blah blah blah. Stupid tropes.
I like how he went from like, oh good, they're so good with not using the tropes to fucking tropes everywhere.
Yes, just fucking just dump them on. Throw some fucking
Rating tropes.
throw some animation on top of it. You got yourself an anime, motherfuckers.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah. So then there's a thing called the Dark Stones. They're on like an island. It actually reminded me a lot of Vivid Red Operation because he's got one of those stupid little scooters he rides around.
Shit.
And a ship is coming towards them, and it's gonna blow shit up. It doesn't all quite make sense because I feel like everybody's all like happy-go-lucky until suddenly shit's being blown up, and a monster shows up, and the monster is turning everybody to stone, like Medusa. Something. Becca reviews anime really poorly.
I like it.
Alma finds out that he's the special chosen one, because of course he is, and he's got some sort of weird power that makes him get like David Bowie eyes, where one turns red and one stays blue. And his hair gets all spiky, and then he gets this really weird, like, red... He grows, like, a unicorn horn out of his forehead, which is why
Wait, are you not
technically... No, okay,
No.
so it's like a red triangle.
Yeah.
But then it actually grows into, like, a horn, and it's in the middle of his forehead, so he looks like a fucking unicorn.
And this only happens when he's starting to rage, which is why he's...
So it's like a weird mixture of, like, a boner and a unicorn.
Yeah, he's a rage unicorn. And... So then, once that power has become unleashed and his unicorn horn boner from his forehead has grown big enough, he gets this, like, cool kind of, like, exoskeleton suit that makes him super badass, and he can beat the shit out of everything, and only his one red eye is sticking out, his blue eye's all covered, so you don't see the David Bowie eyes. And then the chick, whose name I can't remember, who looks like she's, like, half his size...
But, like, yeah, man, he's huge.
Yeah, all the guys are.
So, like, at first you kind of, like, only ever really see him standing next to someone when it's, like, the main girl.
Yeah.
Who, basically the girl is there because she has to be there for him to be able to control his power, otherwise he kind of just goes psycho. But anyway, so you kind of only see them standing next to each other, so you think that they were just trying to make her look, like, really short and, like, a little girl kind of, like, fetish kind of thing, right?
So petite,
but
so
then
tiny, so anime.
You see him standing next to this, regular size other male character, and he's, like, flippin' huge.
All
like,
the guys are super tall and, like, super buff, and all the
but
girls...
the main character's, like, even taller.
Yeah.
Like, he's huge.
And then all the girls look like they're, like, 10 years old. It's really weird. So, anyway, the chick runs up. She's got, like, this heart-shaped gem that she gives to him, and they say the magic words, and he has a transformation sequence, and he becomes super cool cyber guy that looks a little bit like, what's the name of the dude? Not Metroid.
Samus?
Fuck, no, it's not Samus, it's the little blue dude that has...
Mega Man?
Yes, Mega Man. Sorry, everyone. I had a really bad brain fart. So it looks a little bit like that. Not really, but kind of. He's got, like, a weird helmet, and his hair's sticking out, and his eyes are still different colors. No more rage boner. And then he goes and beats the shit out of the evil, mean... Medusa rock-making thing. And then... the next day, everyone is fine and happy, despite half the town being wiped out by a monster that turns everyone to rocks. and then it just, like, obliterates everything.
Yeah, like, so over the span of 3 episodes, they, like, placed emphasis on, like, rocks and stuff.
Oh my god.
And then you kind of find out it's because, like, all the, like, villains and the things that kind of look like mechs are all from
rocks.
Stones, from the dark stones or whatever. Or there's dark stones, and then there's...
And light stones?
Light stones.
That can beat dark stones.
Yeah.
But
yet the main character is a dark stone, but then I think because of the girl, he like
become a light
could
stone.
Be a light stone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
They don't do a very good job at explaining it. You can tell they're trying to make it all like epic,
philosophical, even. I mean, that was one thing I thought. This is the thought I had while watching it. There's a girl that I'm going to refer to as Anime Brenna because she looks a lot like Brenna.
She kind of does, though.
She doesn't act like Brenna, so to make this very clear, I don't think this person's actually Brenna. I just think they look similar in like an anime to actual human kind of way.
And for listeners who have, I'm going to say at this point, should obviously have heard of Brenna. That is
Liam's
waifu slash girlfriend slash
real life waifu
slash the person he's out dancing around the universe with, not podcasting with us, Liam. Broken hearts. So Anime Brenna has a huge crush on Rage Unicorn.
Arma.
And Rage Unicorn has like zero regard for poor Anime Brenna. But at one point they're like both looking for rocks in the water, and then she starts talking about like how rocks are so impressive because they've had such long lives and stuff like that. And I was like, the Japanese are really good at romanticizing anything, and I really appreciate that. Like, I kind of like that. That was a nice, like, respite from the stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. Oh, and also Rage Unicorn saves Anime Brenna. So, good for him. They're obviously gonna, like, maybe bone later, or there's definitely gonna be a love triangle, because this show's not smart enough to do anything different with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be between him, Anime Brenna, and
10-year-old girl.
Cute 10-year-old girl who's probably supposed to be the same age, but definitely doesn't look like it.
Heart Jewel baby. That owns the school by the end of the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. No, first episode.
Yeah, so it's... Basically, she's like this little heiress girl. You don't really know a whole ton about her. She's the one who shows up with her butler and all of her maids. And she wants, like, Alma to join her cause of defeating the Darkstones.
Yeah.
Because she knows that, basically she needs Alma to defeat them. Mm-hmm. And Becca, I don't know if you got to this point, but it kind of preludes that they used to know each other as kids, but I don't think Alma remembers.
A real quick flashback in the second episode. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they obviously knew each other when they were children. Fucking surprise!
So after they get through the whole, like, no, I'm not helping you, but then is forced to help them because half the city's being destroyed, at the end of the episode, she's like, by the way, like, I bought your school, so now I'm, like, the president, so I can be here at all times to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Weird.
I own your ass. I'm not stalking you or anything.
That sounds like a really convenient way to just put her in the plot. Like, just like, we don't know how to fucking get her there. Oh, so buy the school.
Well, like, it's not enough.
Tropes everywhere, and all the little hot maids lying around.
Okay, so that was something I was really, torn on, those little hot maids. Because on the one hand, I was like, good for them for hiring only women. Yay, diversity. Except there's no men, which means they're only hiring women, so it's still the same problem. But then I was like, why are they all dressed as maids? Like, they're running guns and periscopes and, like, computers and stuff. There's zero reason for them to be dressed like maids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was really fan-servicey in, like, the cheapest way possible, and I really hated it. Except for the fact that they were all girls, and that's...
And it sounds bad, but it's like, if you're gonna do fan service, at least make them look like you want to look at them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're gonna show me their butt, at least make it, like, look good.
Yeah, like...
that makes sense.
Like in Vivid Red Operation.
Your fan service.
Vivid Red Operation, those girls had tight buns of steel, even though they were 12.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they did a crop shot every episode. I actually was thinking about this because I had watched the first episode of No Game, No Life to go on a completely other tangent because I can't stand anything today. And that was one thing that I actually noticed in No Game, No Life in the first episode. The younger sister, who's supposed to be 11, your introduction to her is like a camel toe shot of her in panties. And I was like, that makes me really uncomfortable.
But after that, after that, it tones down, though.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, but that was, I, like, had to rewatch it, because I was like, did I just see what I saw? And then you find out afterwards she's 11, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I get that you're trying to, like, make women look sexy, but please quit trying to make them look young at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Japanese thing.
I know, but it's giving me real uneasy feelings, and I mean, in this show in particular, I was just like, of course they're all fucking maids, and of course they're all in maid uniforms, and I don't know where this girl has all this money that's, like, apparently endless, because it's a whole lot of people she has hired, like, brigades of fucking
and they
maid
were, like,
ladies.
trying to, like, get one of the stones that are in a museum that are used to, like, activate, like, dark, like, the monsters, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you can use this stone to, like, activate powers in certain people. Anyway, and she's like, oh, like, triple, like, offer him triple the amount it's worth, and blah, 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 and, like, it was no big deal.
Offer him triple, and if he rejects, then we'll just go get it ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I just, like, part of me was like, where the fuck are you getting all this money from? Like, yeah, you're an heiress, but this kind of stuff costs a lot of money. Like, I don't know.
They don't care as long as it fulfills the plot point.
I guess so. That's like what this whole thing felt like, is like, set up the plot. Okay, the plot is that they're gonna have to function together to save the world.
Yeah, it's like checking off the list of what we know is already gonna happen. Like, I can't see anything particularly new or exciting happening in this anime. Because it's not even technically, like, it's bad per se. It's like, if I had watched this when I first started watching anime, I definitely wouldn't have been like, oh, it was really good, but it would have been okay. Like, I'm like, all right, you know, get into it. But now that, you know,
there's better stuff.
Experienced anime watcher, I know that this is so, like, mediocre and just, like, I don't know, you look at something you rewatch, like, Rise Zero, we were saying, you know, there is technically a lot of things you've seen before in that show, but you don't care because it's all being turned and changed and developed in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this show, it's just like, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
It's going where I've seen it.
Been there, done that.
It's interchangeable with a lot of other shows where there's, like, the main chick and the main guy, and they have to work together, and of course, there's something, they're not going to get along for a while, and then they're going to get along, and there's going to be a weird love triangle, and then they're going to defeat the big bad, and the guy's going to stop being a rage unicorn, he's going to realize his heart is whole, he's going to be happy with friends, the end. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Like,
basically, yeah.
Like, that's exactly what the first two episodes are just, like, pointing towards. Poor anime Brenna is going to have her heart broken because he's going to reject her for the other chick, even though the other chick looks like she's 10.
Or they'll pull the obnoxious, they won't end up with anyone because they're too afraid to take relationships to any kind of a level.
Yeah. But there's always that.
Yeah.
It just, like...
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't necessarily look bad. Like, the animation was alright. Unfortunately, it was kind of hard to find, and when I finally got it on GoGo Anime, it wasn't the best quality, but I feel like if you had, like, a Blu-ray or DVD copy of the show, it probably looks alright. The voice acting was fine, I guess. The butler dude that's, like, 19 that's already been to Harvard, which I rolled my eyes so hard at that. I was like, is Harvard the only school that anybody knows about?
In Japan, it might be the only, it could be one of the only recognizable American schools.
But he looks a lot like, the Black Butler.
Sebastian.
Yeah, he looks a lot like, he just looks like the typical, for his personality. Yeah. I haven't seen Black Butler, but he looks like Sebastian, or he looks like Uryu from Bleach. Has, like, personality.
Like Kyoya from Ouran High School Club.
Yeah. Like,
the glasses.
The glasses, the black hair, the more,
like a bitchy face.
Personality.
The kind of bitchy face, the kind of, like, uptight personality, where he's, like, too cool for school, except he went to Harvard.
Kind of a badass, but not.
Yeah, like,
you know.
He knows how to fly the jet plane as well as the car, and he's a butler as much as he's like...
amazing at everything, he's perfect.
Yeah, he's just like...
a bitch.
It's just so... He's just that trope, where it's like... And then the fact that just his character design is so similar to other shows that have... Because I don't know anything about Black Butler either, but every time it pops up on Netflix...
Yeah.
Like, he looks exactly like the one character from Black Butler.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at a picture right now, and that was the first thing. came into my head.
They just took his character design and plopped it on the guy from Black Butler, or the other way around, and that was it. Like, there's no changes made. And that kind of drives me a little bit crazy.
He also looks, because you guys know who Ryu is from Bleach, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's also, like, his personality and his looks are also, like on par with
that character all over again.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's where it's like, it's tropes. We've seen this so many times, where
every character is a trope, and you can name it.
Yeah,
they're not even the tropes you enjoy.
No. Well, because they're so boring.
Done to death.
You, like, mix them all together, and it's just so bland and boring, because everybody's going to do exactly what you think they're going to do. They're not shaking anything up, like... Maybe the butler is Rage Unicorn or something, I don't know.
Well, they're not even making the storyline, like, necessarily worth it to have the tropes.
Well, like... and, like, the second episode just ends up being, like, another battle sequence where something else goes bad, and they go out and they save everyone, and, So Alma gets, like, his suit allows him to, like, pull up different capabilities. So one of the capabilities he brings up is the ability to fly through the air, and it's basically like a snowboard with, like, hover jets underneath.
It's like your X7.
I keep thinking of, like, cool. Tailspin. That's like, I had to actually look it up. The character's name is Kit Cloud. Wait.
Oh,
Kit Cloud Kicker from Tailspin. Take everyone back to the early 90s.
Wow.
He just, like, zooms around in the air, and it looks cool and everything. It's not bad, but it's just...
So the third episode, they, like... He's just, like, this random guy who also has the stones and conveniently has a girl with him, so basically he has the girl to help him activate his dark stone, and
Fuck off.
Because they escaped from a facility that, like, develops people who can use the stones.
Ugh.
Anyway, so... Alma and the girl are tasked with, like, you know, tracking them down to bring them back in. But of course you realize the corporation is evil and in the wrong.
Yeah.
And then the, like, escapees and Alma end up, like, fighting each other. But then they get away at the end, and you can tell that they're going to eventually end up being friends and, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ugh.
Fuck off. I don't know. I had, like, flashbacks, too, as I was thinking of to, like... Do you remember the Sailor Moon arc where they're hunting down the rainbow crystals?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I remember, that made me think of that, too, with, like, shiny rocks that make people monsters.
It's pretty but evil.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Is that all you got? Or?
That's all I got. That's about sums it up.
I feel like there was more rage to give, and now there's just...
You just don't care.
Well, like I said, it's so mediocre, and, like, if I had just watched the anime, I would be like, it's mediocre, it's not great, it's fine if you just want to watch something kind of mindless. But because I had to watch that fucking picture drama special, I hate everything about this. Like,
honestly, though, even for something mindless, like, if you're gonna want to watch something mindless, if you're like me, I'd rather go back and finish watching Captain Earth.
Yeah. I don't know, I thought this one was...
At least there's something interesting.
I preferred this one over Captain Earth. I really liked their intro. I wanted to mention their intro really quickly, especially the song. It reminded me a lot of, like, Dance Dance Revolution.
I don't even remember it.
Dancey and stuff.
I might not even have watched it.
Okay, well, that was one thing that kind of stood out to me, that I was like, I actually don't mind the intro too much. The song is, like I said, it's kind of dancey and, like, head bobby, and I didn't mind that part.
Oh.
But unfortunately...
I feel like I always watched the intro once, like, in the first episode, but I just don't remember it.
Yeah, like,
when did this anime come out?
2013, I think?
Really?
If I'm recalling off the top of my head?
No. Aired July 2011 to September 2011.
Okay. Looking at it, I would have guessed, like, 2007.
Yeah. I would just say 2009 would have been my guess.
Like, some of the design reminds me of, like, the second Yu-Gi-Oh! Series that came out. Just, like, the pictures I've seen of that stuff, because I never actually watched the series.
Their faces are kind of similar to that idea.
Yeah. It's very, like, boy anime in my head, and not good. I rolled my eyes a couple times. I found it ridiculous that, like, half the town gets blown up by a rock monster, and then the very next day everyone's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Things are great. Welcome to school. Meh, meh, meh. Join the rock club. I was like, doesn't anybody give a fuck that, like, half the town just got turned into stone? Like...
And, like, so the girl, the schoolmate, the anime Brenna, is, like, at the bus stop waiting and hoping Alma will show up because she wants him to be part of her club.
Yeah.
And her two friends, like, left her behind to wait because they wanted to keep going to the rock museum.
Yeah.
And so anime Brenna ends up, like, completely, like, in the attack zone. And when her friends finally get a hold of her, they're like, oh, you just have a couple bruises and scratches? I guess you're okay. Like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you weren't just in a death zone or anything.
Yeah, you almost died.
There was no like, oh my god, are you okay? Yeah. There's no like, where are you? It's just like, oh, you just scratched? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. No repercussions or response to anything. Yeah. They respond more exuberantly to when the girl, Jewel girl that shows up, when she buys the school, she like redoes everything about the school so it looks nicer, better food, everything's still cheap, blah blah blah. But everybody's more concerned about that than half the town being blown up by a rock monster, which is really telling of like how little, like there isn't any thought to the story outside of this one main story they have to tell. Like,
priorities.
There's going to be no repercussions for anything. People can just get blown up and die and disappear. It's not going to matter. It's mediocre. Super mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done now.
Okay, I'm done too, and I want to move on so I can tell you what we're watching next week.
I just want to say Rage Unicorn one more time.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't going to keep watching that?
No.
All right, then.
Okay.
That is settled.
Okay. So, listeners, if you've been around for a while, which I hope you have been, if not, get your shit together and watch the other or listen to the other episodes.
Yeah.
Every 7 episodes. Every 7th episode, we have a special. Everyone has gotten the chance to pick a special episode, except for me.
Yeah, Leah's our special this episode.
Yeah. So that means I get to basically have an episode where we watch whatever I want us to watch. So, okay.
Get to pick something
within
special.
reason.
Within reason.
Yeah.
Not like, let's watch this entire 25 episode series in 4 days.
I watch half of the first episode and come back and be like, no.
Yeah.
All right.
So I wanted to keep it simple, and I wanted us to all watch the same things so we could have a group discussion, because we don't often get to do that. So I picked an anime movie for us to watch. It's from 2013, and it's called Patema Inverted. Okay? So
I'm trying to think I've heard of it before.
Go watch the trailer. It looks super pretty. I will post it on Facebook as well, so if the listeners want to watch it beforehand, they can watch it. Okay, so Patema is a plucky young girl from an underground civilization boasting an incredible network of tunnels. Inspired by a friend that mysteriously went missing, she's often reprimanded due to her constant excursions of these tunnels due to her royal status. After she enters what is known as the Forbidden Zone, she accidentally falls into a giant bottomless pit after being startled by a strange creature. Finding herself on the surface, a world literally turned upside down, she begins falling towards the sky only to be saved by Age, a discontented student of the totalitarian nation known as Aiga. The people of Aiga are taught to believe that inverts, like Patema, are sinners who will be swallowed by the sky, but Age has resisted this propaganda and decides to protect his new friend. A chance meeting between the two curious teenagers leads to an exploration of two unique worlds as they begin working together to unveil the secrets of their origins in Patema Inverted. A heartwarming film about overcoming differences in order to coexist.
This looks so cute.
But I like my racism.
Literally, when it's called Patema Inverted, like, she's literally upside down.
Yeah.
I just found it on Mal.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at pictures on Google. They look so cute. Little babies.
Alright, I'm down for this.
Yeah, right? I think it looked good.
For a minute, I was really worried it was going to be Becca, and then I was like, oh!
No, I don't... Becca, I don't actually watch that much NECA, to be honest.
No?
And the ones I have watched are all the, like, cliche ones that most anime watchers need to have seen.
Yeah.
Like
Code Geass,
the main Gundam kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Eureka 7.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I felt good.
And I didn't want to do, like, Studio... I mean, we've all seen all the Studio Ghibli, so we couldn't do that. But I didn't really want to do that, or... I I didn't want to do the same guy who does Summer Wars and everything like that. I wanted to try and find like a movie that was a little different.
I think we've all seen the gentleman who directs Summer Wars, Mamoru Hosoda.
Mamoru Hosoda or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
we've all seen all of his movies, haven't we?
I think so.
Most of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Summer Wars, Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast.
And The Girl
I've
Who
seen
Leapt Through
Wolf-
Time.
I've seen Wolf Children.
And the only one I haven't seen is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. So
Me too, and it's on my list.
Yeah, me too.
So.
I think I have it downloaded. I mean, procured to watch sometime.
And
in the future.
now the company who does this movie, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Time of Eve.
No.
No.
It's
sounds
six
like a porn.
episode. No, it's a 6-episode anime series. It's actually really good, but well, you haven't heard of it, so it doesn't really matter.
Maybe I'll check it out though.
But for any of the listeners who have maybe seen Time of Eve, this is by the same company, I guess. So
Cute.
yeah, we shall watch it and see how it goes.
Cool. I'm excited.
Nice choice.
Thank you. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I like
We'll
watching. I like encountering new anime movies that I may not have had like any chance to even have heard about without doing some research. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
nice, good pick, solid pick. And Liam will be back next week. Probably,
Yes.
maybe. I guess we'll find out. If not, we're just gonna slowly slide into more and more rambunctious behavior. I guess.
It's just gonna devolve into like a giant mess of screaming.
If it hasn't already.
Mixture of girlish squeeze and like.
Oh yeah. Can't forget the squeeing.
Yeah.
This week on 4 Weebs, we're gonna rank our top hottest anime characters.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do
Oh,
that.
Lord. We could.
Top 20, I feel
Didn't
like.
we
is a
do
good-
that in the Valentine's special?
Top 20.
I think we just
We
top
listed some of
We've mentioned our like waifus and
Yeah.
husbandos, I think.
and who we would hate fuck brutally.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do another Valentine's Day episode when that comes around
That's
again.
true.
With updated
That's true.
choices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And questions.
Top 5 anime bachelors and bachelorettes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Liam's not allowed to say Asuka anymore.
No. Oh my
Get a new
god.
one.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Just Liam's waifu. He'll
likes-
end you.
He likes Evangelion a little too much. I'm gonna go on record and say that.
Yeah.
Liam,
A lot of
at me.
people do.
I probably like Death Parade a little too much, so.
Yeah.
Death Parade was better. But anyway.
Whoa.
That's another debate to get into.
Evangelion's not bad. Please don't send us any hate
Start the
mail.
war.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, I liked Evangelion. I still haven't finished it.
You should finish it.
But yeah.
You with Evangelion,
Anyway.
me with Code Geass. We'll eventually watch all the token good animes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
If not, I mean, I'm not your bitch, okay, guys? I mean, I am a bitch, but I do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's say goodnight,
Let's wrap it
listeners.
up. I think I have to vacate the premise.
Thanks
eventually.
for listening.
Yeah. Shout out to the listeners. You know what? By now, we should have gotten over 2,000 listens on Podbean, so that's pretty fucking fantastic.
Yay for you guys!
Shout out to everybody who keeps listening to us each week in and out. You're the real superheroes here.
Mm-hmm.
You're the real waifus. Yeah.
Aw.
Love you guys.
Yeah. And Shiv on Podbean, who keeps liking our stuff. Keep it up. You're my favorite.
Have fun!
Everyone else
Okay.
who follows us but doesn't like anything, you're on the shit list.
Try harder.
You're
Yeah.
on the shit list.
Senpai is not impressed.
Senpai will never notice you that way.
Yeah.
Tisk tisk.
Yeah. Feel ashamed. Feel ashamed. Anyway, shall we wrap it up?
Yes.
All
Good
right.
night, listeners.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh god.
That social media plug that I do at the end of every episode. That goes right here.
Do it!
Yeah.
That's really long.
Facebook, Podbean, iTunes. You all know the deal. You're all listening to a podcast. You know how this works. Go like us on that shit. Tell us how we're doing. Quit fucking around with me. You're hurting my emotions by not saying anything, listeners. It's a really bad relationship. Poor
And
communication.
maybe, just maybe, if you guys start doing it, we won't have to talk about it as much.
Yeah, I'll stop bugging you so much. And nagging.
Just one person, guys.
Notice me, Senpai.
You.
Okay, goodbye.
Farewell.
Bye. don't know what to say anymore.
I just don't know what to say
It's just-
anymore.
No, it's just
My
like,
spirit's
derp, I'm Vader.
My spirit's crushed. Fuck Sacred 7 drama parody.